Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the FrostBytez gaming experience, where we're going to be taking a little bit of a detour from what we usually do on our Friday uploads, and instead take a nice little look into Stardew Valley. A game that I've actually been wanting to go out of my way to play for some time for the channel now, but always had something else that would come up that I'm like, I think, it's better that I just play this. And for a while there, I actually wanted to play this game for Twitch, but again, because of my incapabilities of doing Twitch, whether it's because of timing or weather reasons or just something going on, really, kind of kept me from being able to go on my way to play it just yet. And because the game that I was originally going to do for my challenge run crashed on me, I figured, you know what, maybe this is about the time that I can do Stardew Valley. So we got our character created here, and we have like a number of different farms that we can choose from. You have your standard farm, and then a couple other farms that they added since the last time I actually played this game. It has been a couple years since I last sat down and played Stardew Valley, which is another reason why I wanted to go out of my way to play this game, because this is a game I very much enjoy, and I was thinking about giving it another run. So I figured, you know what? My challenge run didn't work, and I've been wanting to play Stardew Valley for some time now, so I might as well do it for the channel. Took a quick look ahead of time and saw that, yeah, we do have a number of other farms that we can choose from, and I tested all of them out, and I'm going to stick with the standard farm for this run, because again, I'm just looking to relax this go around, not really doing too much else with it. But you can choose to live on a riverland farm where your farm is mostly water based, so it restricts the amount of gardening you can do. Forest, same thing, but it's trees instead of water. Hilltop, you get a lot of rocks that you can mine, but again, it limits the amount of space that you have to garden. And then wilderness, you mostly just get attacked at night by just, creatures and whatnot. But we're just going to go with the standard farm, because again, we just want to relax for right now. I'm kind of just taking a detour from what I normally do for the channel and just do something nice, calming, and relaxing for the time being. So yeah, unfortunately, again, we're taking a little bit of a detour from doing challenge runs for, a small while, because again, the game that I wanted to do a challenge run of Fallout 3 actually, but for some reason I'm still having a lot of issues with the Steam version of Fallout 3 and having it consistently crash on me, and it's made it rather difficult to try and get a run of that done. And I really couldn't think of anything that sounded fun for me at the time. And again, I've been really wanting to go back and play this game, so it's like, hey, you know what? I think it's about time I finally did some Stardew Valley for the channel and just relax on Fridays, But anyways, we start off, we get this nice little gift from our grandpa who is passing away, and he tells us we gotta wait until, we know when the time is right, when we're just burdened with humanity all around us, I guess. But 20 years later, I know it's supposed to be like a Mega Man, XX amount of years, or the year is 20XX or something like that. But I like to think of it as, 20 years later. As we can see, working for a big company like Jojo here is apparently not the way to go, unless you're this guy who is really licking his lips with all the profits he's going to be making. But as we can see, our guy is literally falling asleep with adulthood. So, I think it's time that we open up that letter and see exactly what that gift was. I'm actually really impressed that the kid waited for a long time to do that, because, he could have just done it at any time. Oh, I can actually click on something here. It looks like, nope, looks like it's just like a little bit of a bug or something. Let's open it up. Dear Frosty, if you're reading this, you must be in dire need of a change. The same thing happened to me long ago. I lost sight of what mattered most in life, real connections with other people and nature. So I dropped everything and moved to the place I truly belong. I've enclosed the deed of that place, my pride and joy, YouTube Farm. Sounds really funny when it's put that way, though. It's located in Stardew Valley on the southern coast. It's a perfect place to start your new life. This is my most precious gift of all, and now it's yours. I know you'll honor the family name, my boy. Good luck. Love, Grandpa. P.S. If Lewis is still alive, say hi to the old guy for me, will ya? Well, I'm pretty sure we can do just that. And with that, we are now going to be making our trip into Stardew Valley. and see what's all up. So Stardew Valley is a mixture of a couple of genres into one, but the biggest one is a farming simulation style game, a lot like Harvest Moon. One of the main reasons why I went on my way to get this is because, you know, Harvest Moon was a favorite game of mine that I would play as a kid. I wasn't good at it, but, you know, it was something to play when relaxing. And so when I saw Stardew Valley had a lot of elements of that, I was like, okay, let's go ahead and give it a go. It also has elements of, I'm spacing on the name right now, and I have it like right behind me, but I'll take a look at it later. But you also have some dungeon crawling, and there's just like a lot of things you can do within this game that just makes it nice, calming, and relaxing. Anyways, this is Robin. I'm Robin, the local carpenter. Mayor Lewis sent me here to fetch you and show you the way to your new home. He's there right now, tidying things up for your arrival. The farm's right over here, if you'll follow me. I'm not going to look to do any kind of, like, crazy voices or anything like me and James did with our Phoenix Wright run, because, again, I'm just looking to chill out, call it good, have a good time. Don't want to do anything too crazy. This is YouTube Farm. And as we can see, our guy's like, whoa, not only is the farm so bad, but it's a perfect representation of YouTube itself. What's the matter? Sure, it's a bit overgrown, but there's some good soil underneath that mess, which is really all you need to start up a really good farm. With a little dedication, you'll have it cleaned up in no time. Yeah, we're going to need a lot of dedication for this one. Ah, here it is, the house. And here we are, your new home. Oh, this person was the home the whole time. Ah, the new farmer. This is Lewis. He is still alive, actually. Welcome, I'm Lewis, mayor of Pelican Town. You know, everyone's been asking about you. It's not every day that someone new moves in. It's quite a big deal. Coming from a small town myself, technically more of a small city. We're just a little under 10,000 people. Whenever someone new does move in, it can be a bit of a big deal. But again, I wouldn't really call us a small town because there are some small towns in the state of Wyoming that have a population of maybe like, what, 20 people or so. Roughly, I think there's a total of 28 people we can interact with on this town. And, you know, a good accurate representation of some of the towns around where I live as well. Anyways, we got ourselves some friendly little banter going on here and there. Must be tired, so we should get some rest. And tomorrow we ought to explore the town, introduce ourselves to everybody, and get ourselves started with our brand new farm. Also going to make mention here that we can drop off anything that we want to sell. Just place it into the box. It'll come by during the night to collect it. That's how we get our income. And with that, Stardew Valley begins. Alrighty, day number 1. Let's go ahead and just get right to it. Progress is saved. Let's go. We got ourselves a nice little present, some parsnip seeds. And we got ourselves a journal. We received 15 parsnip seeds. Here's a little something to get you started from Mayor Lewis. Very nice. So in our journal, getting started, we have to cultivate and harvest 1 parsnip and also introduce ourselves to all 28 people. We've met 2 so far. And let's go ahead and get on start with it. I'm going to go ahead and do some move around just to make sure that it's set the way that I want it to be set up. So we have over here, you have yourself an energy bar, 270 total energy. Just about, not every action, but just about every action you do takes up a certain amount of energy. And you got to keep an eye on it, because if it hits up to 0 and you're exhausted, the amount of energy you start off with the next day is set to half. You also got to make sure you keep an eye on the time, because certain events not certain events, but like certain stores open at certain times and close at certain times. And if you go past a certain time, I believe it's at 2 in the morning, you will pass out and you will once again start off with less energy. And if you're also exhausted, I think it cuts in half twice. You have like 1/4 the energy what you do, as well as losing some money as well. Now, I stated that not every single item, not everything you do actually does consume energy, because already with our scythe here, we haven't lost any energy utilizing it. So your scythe is what you really want to take advantage of in the beginning portions of the game, removing as many shrubs and grass as you can, especially because you get yourself some fiber off of it, but you also have a chance of dropping some mixed seeds that are just random seeds when planted, will just grow any really kind of crop that is part of the current season that you are in, which we will go into more later on. But I do want to take out some of these trees here. One of the things we are going to be looking to do on day 1 is we are going to be planting a lot of parsnip seeds. We have 500 gold, as you can see up in the top right. And we're going to use that to buy even more parsnip seeds. But if we go onto our map, we have a whole entire view of all of Stardew Valley. And one of the areas that we will be going to here is the general store. However, it doesn't open till 9 a.m. So we got plenty of time to wait to go and get that. But parsnip seeds, if I remember correctly, they are 20 gold for each. So we can get ourselves an extra 25 for a total of 40 parsnip seeds. And the reason why we want to hold off on our energy, we want to have at least 160 energy in order to plant all the parsnip seeds, because utilizing your hoe and watering can utilizes 2 energy each time that you use them. And so we want to make sure that we have a total of 160 so we can dig up areas for all 40 parsnips and then be able to water all 40 of them. And I believe this should be just fine. I just got done scything up a little shrub. That happens every now and then. Small trees here take roughly about 5 wax, I believe. 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep. And then the tall trees take up a total of 15 hits in order to take them down. And then the small ones here only take 1 hit. Let's go ahead and dig ourselves up. 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Reason why I'm separating them out like this is just because that's just how I do things. I'm a very symmetrical kind of person, really. And so I like it when things are relatively parallel. Which you will see later on in this part. I plan on ending this part by showcasing my main farm that I have when I first started playing the game. Give you guys an idea of what you can get your whole entire farm to look like when you're done. Like when you're, I think I'm at year 3. So basically about 3 years worth of work on your farm, what it could actually end up looking like. Let's see here, we have 98 energy total, so we'll be roughly at about 18 energy left over when we're done planting and watering. So here we are, we're in spring of year 1. This gives you a calendar of ideas of events coming up, people's birthday and whatnot. We'll dive more into that later on. We don't need to worry about it so much. Let's go ahead and get ourselves the maximum amount of parsnip seeds for a total of 40. People we can talk to, but we'll do all of our introductions with everybody later on, because we kind of want to we want to work on our farm for right now. You know, your farm is going to be one of your best sources of income, especially later on with certain plants that you can grow. The amount of money that you can make just off of your farm can be a little bit crazy, and so we want to put a little bit of focus into that. So let's go ahead and get all these parsnips planted. Planting seeds doesn't take up any energy. Mostly the things that take up energy is if you are going to be using your hoe, using your watering can, using your axe, your pickaxe, and later on when we actually start going fishing. But just about every single action, except for the fishing, which again, we'll go into that once we start fishing, every single action takes up 2 energy. So always get an idea of what your goal of the day is, see how much energy that you have, and see if you can utilize it wisely. Later on, you start getting yourself some items that can help out with your health. You know, first thing that you get is what's known as a field snack that you can make, and it gives you a good boost of energy in case you're running a little bit low. But once we're done here, we're always starting to shake a bit. We're at 18. Once you get under 20, I believe it starts to shake, showing that, hey, you know, you're getting really close to being completely exhausted. And again, you don't want that to happen, because you don't want it to be, you don't want your energy bar to be cut in half. We only end up getting ourselves 30 wood, so we're 20 short of what we want for a chest in order to get the rest of these filled up. It kind of sucks, but that's not the worst. But because we're out of energy, let's go ahead and do another portion of what you can do in Stardew Valley, going around and just collecting random items throughout the entire town. You know, we got ourselves some daffodils and some dandelions, and we can actually go out of our way and sell these like, you know, like we would our own field crops. And it helps you with your foraging abilities after we throw them in. Call it good. Let's take a look into that. So, skills. We have ourselves farming, mining, foraging, fishing, and combat. Every single action that you take within this game, depending on what area it falls under, grants you experience and helps level up your skills that can give you certain bonuses. What we just did was foraging, where you just kind of go around the area of Stardew Valley and just pick up random crops that really aren't farming crops, but just areas that you can get stuff in. Every single time you pick up one of them, or as you can see with the tree, every single time you take an axe hit to a tree, it's not even just a hit. Every time you take out a tree, whether it's its stump or the tall trees itself, gets you a certain amount of experience. Once you build up enough, you start leveling up. And then with foraging, once you hit level 1, that's when you get access to the fields next. So we kind of want to get that as soon as we possibly can. Farming is based on your farm. The more plants that you pull out of the ground when they're fully ripe and ready to be pulled, you get experience towards your farming. Mining is rocks that you take out. Fishing is, well, whenever you fish. I believe you have to actually catch fish for the experience to go up, however. And then combat will go into later on as well. And then if you saw in the inventory, we have ourselves a little bit of items that we can equip later on. We've only got 12 total slots we can use for the time being, but there's future backpacks that we can buy to give ourselves the maximum amount of inventory as we can. One of the main reasons why we wanted to get that chest is so we can move our extra stuff that we don't really need right now. We could throw them into the chest to give ourselves more inventory space to pick up other items that we can sell, try and get as much money as we can in the very beginning here. But we've already got ourselves another item we can pick up here. Yoink. Thank you for the daffodil. And let's actually go start introducing ourselves to other people. This is Harvey. It's a pleasure to meet you. I'm Harvey, the local doctor. Whenever you talk to somebody, if it always shows a quote bubble above them, that means that you can get new dialogue. Once it sticks to the basic arrow like it is right now, then you can't get anything else out of them. I perform regular checkups, all medical procedures for all the residents of Pelican Town. It is rewarding work. I hope you'll find your own work equally rewarding in time. And now that, now that we can't talk with them anymore, that means there's not much more to say. Oh, another daffodil. Feels good. Hey, kid, what's up? This is Vincent. Oh, a stranger. My name is Vincent. Mama says not to talk to strangers, but you seem okay. That's how it always starts, isn't it? Oh, this is Jody. Oh, you aren't exactly how I imagined, but that's okay. I'm Jody. How did you expect me to look? I don't think that you ever had any kind of photos of me to begin with, so just by name you kind of figured you knew what I would look like, I guess. Interesting. It's a quiet little town, so it's very exciting when someone new moves in. Having a farmer could really change things. And this is Carolyn. Hello, you must be Frosty, the new farmer. I'm Carolyn. My husband runs the general store here, and have you met my daughter Abigail? She's the pale one with the purple hair. Probably because you're the one with the green hair. Hello. Hello, young lady. Who are you? This is Evelyn. Why, hello and welcome to our little community, dear. You can call me Granny if you like, and that's all we're going to get out of her for now. Everybody within this town has their own little set schedules that they follow. Oh, another person will just break into their house and talk with them. Emily, oh, I can read on your face. You're going to love it here in Pelican Town. If you're ever looking for something to do in the evening, stop by the saloon. That's where I work. Fantastic. Everyone has their own little set schedules depending on what day it is. Certain times will determine where you can find them. So, and all of this is obviously on the Stardew wiki. So if you ever find yourself lost and like, oh, I can't find so-and-so to talk to, like this gentleman right here. He was set at 3 o'clock to leave his house and go somewhere. Mr. Elliott, the new farmer we've all been expecting and whose arrival has sparked many a conversation. It is interesting to note that whenever you're talking to somebody, the time will freeze, so you don't have to worry about it. Time itself goes by, it's 7 seconds, go 10 minutes. So every single 10 minutes takes 7 seconds. And I believe they said that a full day is roughly around 14 and a half minutes. But if you stop time like this, then obviously it takes a little bit more time. I'm Elliott. I live in the cabin by the beach. It's a pleasure to meet you. It's very nice to meet you too, sir. But again, because it hit 3 o'clock, he did his, okay, I'm going to leave the house and go somewhere else on a Monday. If it was a Tuesday, he'd have something different. Ooh, we have ourselves some worms there. I'd like to actually dig them up. In fact, let's go ahead and do just that and see what we get. We got a book, but unfortunately we have to get rid of something. Even though the book doesn't go in our inventory, which is a little bit weird, but we do have to make room for it. We can do without the sap for now. And we got ourselves a book. You found a lost book. The library's collection has expanded. We'll go into that actually relatively soon. We would have to get rid of the sap anyways because we have a mussel we're going to pick up here. And we got more stuff over here we can get, but unfortunately the bridge is out. We need 300 pieces of wood to fix the bridge. We'll take care of that later because there is a lot of foraging items such as clams and mussels and seashells and whatnot that we can get over there. They can give us some good forging money, but again, the experience points for it as well. Let's actually go to the library. Let's take a look at what we actually have there. So go right through here. This doesn't open up until the summer, which I'll start explaining seasons in a bit. We'll pick up the Daffodil and head into the library. This is the library slash museum. You have yourself little books that you can read through, which we'll try and do. And then over here, there's a lot of artifacts that we don't have. Now, because we got a book ahead of time, we actually skipped the dialogue we have with this gentleman. Doesn't seem like you have anything to donate to the museum. Better get out there and do some treasure hunting, huh? When you come in here, he states that the last person that took care of this area made out with all of the artifacts that they had. Just took them and completely left off. Because we actually got the book ahead of time, we actually skipped that portion of the dialogue. But basically, whenever you find random books, these get filled up and you can read them. They can be a little bit difficult to read, however, though. Just by clicking on them, you gotta like click at the right location. It's really weird. Once you start bringing in materials, he asks you, if you find any artifacts or rare minerals, you can go ahead and bring them on in here, and we can set them up and display for everybody to see. But let's see if we can actually get one of these books to work. Here we are. This is a book by Marnie. Animals are very sensitive. They like to be pet every day and prefer to eat grass outdoors than dry hay. They don't like being outside in the rain, though. Happy animals produce happier quality products. That's interesting to note. Now we're trying to get to the other book here. Nope. There's a book missing there. So as you saw, the book disappeared when we read it. However, this book is not. And I do remember that this book does give me a hard time. Oh, it was on the other side. That's why I couldn't do it. All right. Tips on farming. Use fertilizer to improve the quality, reduce workload, or hasten crop growth. Fruit trees take a whole season to grow, but they require very little maintenance. Keep the area directly around your new sapling clear, or else it may not grow properly. Crops will die as soon as the season ends unless they grow in multiple seasons, example corn. Some crops such as kale and wheat need to be harvested with the scythe. So little early farming tips there that we were planning on going into later on, but it kind of explained everything that we needed to right there. So let's go back to the calendar and go into full details about what that means. 6 p.m. so the general store just closed, but whenever... Oh, hello, 2 new people. Let's see who we are. Penny, hi. Oh, did you want something? I was just saying hi, but alright, you're pretty shy. Maru, oh, aren't you the new one who just moved in? I'm Maru, been looking forward to meeting you. Really? With a small town like this, a new face can really alter the community dynamic. It's exciting, which again is very true. I'm in a small city and it kind of alters whenever something like that happens. Small towns, I can believe it even more. But if we go over here to the calendar, so again, you have 4 seasons instead of months. You have spring, summer, fall, and winter. Every single one of the seasons has exactly 28 days, starting on a Monday, ending on a Sunday. As the book stated, if you are growing a crop that is meant for, say, the spring and summertime hits, summertime day 1, whatever crops you haven't harvested yet or haven't finished growing yet will just die right on the spot. Except for, like it said, there are some that grow in multiple seasons, such as corn, which I believe grows in the summer and the fall. So in the summertime, you don't have to worry about so much. The reason why I bring this up is because when you look to buy seeds, it tells you how many days it takes for the plant to mature. Parsnips take 4 days, so you would want to make sure that you planted it essentially the final week on a Monday. You could push later on, as long as you remember to actually harvest on the 28th, because if you do not, or if you plant it on like the 26th, well, unless you have certain kind of fertilizer, there's no way you're going to get it done by the 28th, and you just kind of threw away money. So that's something very important to make sure you keep an eye on, because you don't want to take a risk of losing out on money. You want to try and keep as much as you possibly can. Alright, we don't have a whole lot of inventory space, so I do not want to take out these shrubs just yet. I'm pretty sure we can get a good amount of mixed seeds with it, but we don't want to lose out on anything else that might come out of them. Alrighty, and with that, let's see here. What do we want to do? Well, we're going to be stuck a bit. Although if you do go out in a while, they shake a bit and you can just go right through them. We have ourselves over here the Jojo Mart, huh? Well, let's take a look inside and see what we got here. Hello, good sir. You're rather scary. Welcome to Jojo Mart. How are you doing today? I don't believe we met. I'm Morris, Jojo Customer Satisfaction Representative. When you decide you want to become a Jojo member, I'll be delighted to help make your transition a joyous experience. Welcome to Jojo Mart. How are you doing today? Membership is now available. With the Jojo membership, you'll be able to make improvements in the community with the help of our dedicated personnel for a fee, of course. Oh, and another thing. Mayor Lewis promised us that if anyone else joined up, he'd let us turn that old community center into a Jojo warehouse. Isn't that wonderful? Membership is 5,000. Would you like to join? Well, not only do we not have 5,000 gold to join up, at the same time, we kind of don't want to join up because, like they said, the community center gets turned into a warehouse, and it's a quick way to kind of get a certain part of the game done. Let's go up to the community center right now. We can't enter it just yet, but we just passed it earlier not too long ago. But this is the community center. It is rather old. It is rather beat up, but we do want to save it, and so we're not going to just turn it into a Jojo warehouse because we're not mean people like that, you know. And because it's actually, in my opinion, more fun to do it the other way. And like I said, when we get to that part of the game, I'll go into more details about it, but in my opinion, it does make the game a little bit more fun going the route of not joining up with Jojo. Alrighty, and with that, we actually have a relatively good start of the day. Let's go ahead and sell what we picked up here. These we do want to save, however. One thing to note is that even if you leave, and I believe even if you go off screen, does it actually save it? I want to double check just to make sure before I make any false statements. Okay, yeah. So whatever last item you ship, you can immediately bring back in your inventory. However, as you can see, only the very last one that you shipped out, you are capable of saving. So if I put the mussel in and then I put in the wood, the mussel is I'm no longer able to retrieve it, even if it's immediately. So if I hit the wood, pick back the wood, well, the mussel's gone. So you want to be careful on how fast you remove stuff into the box, because again, if you do it too fast and you get rid of something you don't actually want to get rid of, it could be gone for good. So make sure you keep an eye on that. And we're actually going to call it a day right there, but let's see what we have on here. Living off the land. What can we watch? Welcome to Living Off the Land. We're back again with another tip for y'all. Now listen up. This is one for all you greenhorns out there. Chop wood and search for wild forage to earn some cash while waiting on your first harvest, which we just did. Fortune teller is one we don't need to go into just yet, but let's go ahead and just showcase it. So the fortune teller basically tells us if we have good luck or not. Spirits are in good humor, so that's actually really good luck, but we can't do anything with it because that involves more the dungeon crawling side of the game, so we'll worry about that later. Weather report. Alrighty, #1 source for weather, so we can find out what the weather's going to be like tomorrow. It's going to be clear and sunny all day, so that's good to know. And let's go ahead and just call it for the night and just showcase what happens in between every single night. First day of spring is done. It shows you the amount of money that you made from whatever you put in the box for that day. So everything we got was off of foraging and a little bit of fishing. So the mussel is actually part of the fishing. And as you can see, you can increase it to show how much everything was worth that you gave. 6 daffodils, gave you a total of 180 gold and so on and so forth. So, it's really nice. It's good to see, how much money that you made. And then we'll hit OK, go on to the second day of spring. And we're not going to call it a part right there because what I'm going to do for the first part is I'm going to go out of my way and showcase like my main farm. Let's go ahead and do that right now. Let's go to the title. Load up. So this is what we're currently working on right now, and I just want to show you guys what you can get after about 3 years. You can already see 77 hours worth and a little over 500,000 total gold. Give you guys a quick little look as to what a farm can look like if you put a good amount of dedication into it. We're going to be doing a good number of parts into this game, but I don't think we're going to go this far into it. So I might as well show you guys what it's like when you have a full entire farm set up. Now, the cool thing about this game, just like with any other sim building style kind of game, is you can set it up however you like. Again, I'm a very symmetrical person. So as you can see, I have certain things. We have 2 scarecrows followed by lamps, followed by more scarecrows, more lamps and whatnot. And I have certain crops in certain areas. I have a whole entire section dedicated to one type of crop that is one of the most OP crops in my opinion. just kidding, I'm not going to go through and explain what every single thing here is, because we'll be doing that throughout, the game itself. And I don't want to like tell you guys every single thing that you can do throughout this entire game, but I just kind of want to give you guys a small little showing of, after a good amount of time playing this game, it really can evolve into a really big farm animals, whole bunch of crops. We have ourselves the fruit trees that we actually just read about down over here, actually. And I'm not even fully done. We have a really big empty space over here that I mostly just have grass growing in for the time being, that I'm actually going to look to put in some more buildings and whatnot. So even 3 years into the game and over 77 hours, I'm not even really done with the amount that I can do within this game. So, just giving you guys a small little look of, hey, if you guys are interested in this game, this is what it can turn into. If you really like, Sim City style games where you can just build your entire like farm empire and whatnot, I'd say definitely go ahead and give it a look. But with that, we're going to call it a part right there, ladies and gentlemen. So I do hope you enjoy the rest of your evenings, and we will catch you all on the next part.